Welcome all to Coos Shakespeare in the Park's 2019 production of As You Like It. CB Shakes was formed to provide quality live theatrical productions of Shakespeare's works, accessible to our community. We would like to take a moment to thank our corporate sponsors who helped bring this wonderful production to life. Coos Bay North Bend Rotary, Banner Bank, Stebbins and Coffee Attorneys at Law, the Mill Casino, Elgin Orthodontics, Coos Bay Vision Center, the Confederated Tribes of the Coos Lower Umpqua Sayusla Indians, Coos Bay Toyota, Seven Devils Brewing Company, Farr's Hardware, Knutson Carpet Hut, Harry's Supply, Oregon Pacific Company, and Roto-Rooter. A special thanks to these donors, Ken and Kathy Denton, Tony and Joanne Smith, and Mike and Elaine Shelton. Please give our corporate and individual sponsors a round of applause. Bottled water, popcorn, and reusable shopping bags are for sale in the gazebo. Please be considerate of your fellow audience members as you make your way there and back. At this time, we ask you to put your cell phones on silent. Sit back, relax, and enjoy our green show. And now, as they've been doing from time immemorial, the local Morris dancers will beguile you with their prancing precision, woo you with their wild and wondrous ambulations, and charm you with their cavorting chorus. Here is Side of the Tide.
Thank you very much. That was a dance called the Tinner's Rabbits. Morris dancing has been a long-standing English tradition for hundreds of years. In fact, it is included in a government-backed list of icons of England. And this list includes not only Morris dancing, but Alice in Wonderland, Punch and Judy, and the miniskirt. So we're in great company. As early as the 15th century, Morris dancing was a state-sanctioned activity in England, and it was documented at the court of Henry VII in 1494. So this is a very old tradition, but new dances are being written all the time. In fact, this is a more recent dance called the Ragged Crow. Thank you. Morris dancing is a traditional way of celebrating the changes in the seasons. And it's a way of bringing the community together in times of joy and in times of tribulation. We really enjoy being part of that. Let's see. Shakespeare. That's why we're here. Shakespeare had fun with Morris dancers. He even had references to Morris dancers in many of his plays, including A Midsummer Night's Dream, Henry V, Henry VI, All's Well That Ends Well, and in Two Noble Kinsmen, there's a whole scene centered around a Morris dance. We're going to give the dancers just a brief little breather, and we're going to play a tune called Off to California. I think they're rested up now. They're looking pretty good. So I have to tell you about this dance, though. We all know that things grow really big here on the South Coast. Well, one day after our Morris practice, we found the biggest rose tree. I'm not talking about a rose bush. I'm talking a rose tree, and it was so huge. And it had these beautiful roses way up at the top. So we decided we have to climb up to the top of this thing and see what we can see. It's the tallest thing anywhere that we've ever seen. So we climbed all the way up there. Sure enough, we could see all the way to the Cascades. We could see Mount Shasta. We could see the ocean. There were these huge roses up there. And we said, nobody's ever going to believe this. So we thought we had to bring back a souvenir, and we each picked one of the thorns off the top of that rose tree, and that's where we got these sticks. So this dance is called the rose tree. Thank you. We are always looking for new dancers and new musicians, so if this looks fun to you, you can find us on Facebook. You can email us at sideofthetide@gmail, or you can just talk to one of us or take our card. So we're always looking for people, and anybody can do this. If you can walk, you can dance. And musicians, we're always looking for people. So Albert Einstein loved dancers. He called dancers the athletes of God. And he was impressed enough to compose this ode called Dancing in Our Heads. We dance for laughter. We dance for tears. We dance for madness. We dance for fears. We dance for hopes. We dance for dreams. Screams, excuse me. We are the dancers. We create the dreams. By Albert Einstein. Our last dance is called Lily Bolero.
Let's give an extra big hand to our musicians, please.
That was Side of the Tide Morris dancers. Coos Bay Shakespeare in the Park would like to send a special thank you to the City of Coos Bay, the City Council, and the Parks Department for providing us this wonderful space to perform in. Now it's time to escape to the forests of Arden. Under the direction of Jane Stebbins, Coos Bay Shakespeare in the Park is proud to present William Shakespeare's As You Like It.
sea, no enemy but winter and rough weather. As I remember, Adam, it was upon this fashion, bequeathed me by will before 1,000 crowns, and as thou sayest, charge my brother on his blessing to breed me well. There begins my sadness. My brother he keeps at school, and reports speak goldenly of his profit. For my part, he keeps me rustically at home, or, to speak more properly, stays me here at home unkept. For call you that keeping for a gentleman of my birth that differs not from the stalling of an ox? His horses are bred better. Besides, if they are fair with their feeding, they are taught their manage, and to that end riders dearly hired. But I, his brother, gain nothing under him but growth, for the which his animals on his dunghills are as much bound to him as I. Besides this nothing that he so plentifully gives me, the something that nature gave me, his countenance seems to take from me. He lets me feed with his hinds, buys me the place of a brother, and as much as in him lies, minds my gentility with my education. This is it, Adam, that grieves me. And the spirit of my father, which I think is within me, begins to mutiny against this servitude, and I will no longer endure it. Though yet I know no wise remedy how to avoid it.
Yonder comes my master, your brother.
Go apart, Adam, and you shall hear how he will shake me up.
Now, sir, what make you here?
Nothing. I am not taught to make anything.
What mar you then, sir?
Oh, marry, sir, I am helping you to mar that which God made. A poor, unworthy brother of yours, with idleness.
Marry, sir, be better employed and be naught a while.
Oh, shall I keep your hogs and eat husks with them? What prodigal portion have I spent that I should come to such penury?
Know you where you are, sir?
Oh, yes, sir. Very well. Here in your orchard.
Know you before whom, sir?
Better than him I am before knows me. I know you are my eldest brother, and in the gentle condition of blood, so should you know me. The courtesy of nations allows you my better, and that you are the firstborn. But the same tradition takes not away my blood. Were there 20 brothers betwixt us? I have as much of my father in me as you. Albeit, I confess, your coming before me is nearer to his reverence.
What, boy?
Come, elder brother. You are too young in this.
Wilt thou lay hands on me, villain?
I am no villain. I am the youngest son of Sir Roland de Boice. He was my father, and he is thrice a villain that says such a father begot villains. Wert thou not my brother, I would not take this hand from thy throat till the other had pulled out thy tongue for saying so. Thou hast railed on thyself.
Sweet masters, be patient. For your father's remembrance, be it a core.
Let me go, I say.
I will not. You will hear me. My father charged you in his will to give me good education. You have trained me like a peasant, and I will no longer endure it. Therefore, allow me such exercises as may become a gentleman, or give me the poor lottery my father left me by testament. With that I will go and buy my fortunes.
What will you do? Beg when it is spent? Well, sir, get you in. I'll not long be troubled with you. You will have some part of your inheritance. Now, I pray you, leave me.
I will no further offend you than becomes me for my good.
Get you with him, you old dog!
Is old dog my reward? Most true I have lost my teeth in your service. God be with my old master. He would not have spoken such a word.
Is it even so? Grow you upon me? I will physic your rackness, and yet give no 1,000 crowns neither. Holla, Charles.
Good morrow to you.
Good, Monsieur Charles. What is the new news of the new court?
There is no news, sir. But the old news, that is, the old Duke has been banished by his younger brother, the new Duke. And 3 or 4 loving lords have put themselves into voluntary exile with him, whose lands and revenues enrich the new Duke. Therefore, he gives them good leave to wander.
Do you know if Rosalind, the Duke's daughter, be banished with him?
Oh, no. For her cousin, the Duke's daughter, loved her ever so, being bred together from their cradles, that she would have followed her exile or have died to stay behind. So she is at the court, and no less beloved by her by her uncle than his own daughter. And never two ladies loved as they do. Huh, yeah.
Where will the old Duke live?
Huh. They say he's already in the forest of Arden, and many a merry man with him. And there they live like the old Robin Hood of England. And they say many a man flocked to him every day, and they fleet the time carelessly as they did in the golden world.
What? You wrestle before the new court tomorrow?
Ah, marry do I, sir. And I came to acquaint you with the matter. I am given to understand, secretly, that your younger brother Orlando hath the disposition to come in disguise against me to try a fall. Tomorrow, I wrestle for my credit, and he who escapes me without some broken limb shall quit him well. Your brother's but young and tender, and for your love, I would be loath to foil him, as I must for my own honor if he come in. Therefore, I came to acquaint you with all, that either you might stay him from his intentment, or brook such disgrace as he shall run into, in that it is a thing of his own search, and altogether against my will.
Good Monsieur Charles, I thank thee for thy love for me, which thou shalt find I most kindly requite. I had myself some notice of my brother's purpose herein. I'd even labored through underhanded means to dissuade him, but he is resolute. I tell thee, Charles, it is the stubbornest young fellow of France, full of ambition, an envious emulator of every man's good parts, that secret and villainous contriver against me, his natural brother. Therefore, use thy discretion. I had as lief thou didst break his neck as his finger, and thou wert best look to it. For if you did him any slight disgrace, or if he did not mightily grace himself upon thee, he will work against thee by poison, entrap thee in some treacherous device. He will not leave thee until he hath taken thy life through some indirect means or another. For I assure you, almost with tears in my eyes as I do speak it, there is not one so young or so villainous this day but Vic. I speak but brotherly of him, but if I were to anatomize him before you as he is, I must blush and weep, and you must look pale and wonder.
I am heartily glad I came to you. Tomorrow, if he come, I will give him his payment. And if ever he go alone again, I'll never wrestle the prize more. So, God keep your worship.
Farewell, good Charles. Now will I stir the gamester. And I hope that's the last I've seen of him. For my very soul, though I know not why, hates nothing more than he. And yet he is gentle, full of noble device, never schooled and yet learned, of all kinds enchantingly beloved, especially in the heart of this land, amongst my own people who know him best, that I am altogether misprized. Well, it need not be for so long. The wrestler will clear all. I need only kindle the youth thither, which now I will go about.
I pray thee, Rosalind, sweet, like husband Mary.
Dear Celia, I show more mirth than I'm mistress of. Unless you could teach me how to forget a banished father, you must not learn me how to remember any extraordinary pleasure.
Herein I see thou lovest me not with the full weight that I love thee. If my uncle, thy father, had banished thy uncle, the Duke, my father, so thou hadst still been with me, I could have taught my love to take thy father for mine. So wouldst thou, if the truth of thy love to me were as righteously tempered as mine is to thee?
Well, I will forget the condition of my estate to rejoice in yours.
You know my father hath no child but I, nor none is like to have. And truly, when he dies, thou shalt be his heir. For what he has taken from thy father perforce, I will render thee again in affection. By mine honor I will, and when I break that oath, let me turn monster. Therefore, my sweet Rose, my dearest Rose, be merry.
From henceforth I will, coz. And devise sports. Let me see. What think you of falling in love?
Marry, I prithee do, to make sport withal. But love no man in good earnest. No further in sport neither. For with the safety of a pure blush thou mayst in honor come off again.
What shall be our sport then?
Let us sit and mock the good housewife Fortune at her wheel, that her gifts may henceforth be bestowed equally.
I would we could do so, for her benefits are mightily misplaced. And the bountiful blind woman doth most mistake in her gifts to women.
'Tis true, for those that she makes fair, she scarce makes honest. And those that she makes honest, she makes very ill-favoredly indeed.
Oh, nay, now thou goest from Fortune's office to Nature's. Fortune reigns in the gifts of the world, not in the lineaments of nature.
No, when nature hath made a fair creature, may she not by fortune fall into the fire? And though nature hath given us wit to flatter fortune, hath fortune not sent in this fool to cut off the argument?
Indeed, there is fortune too hard for nature, when fortune makes nature's natural to cut her off of nature's wit.
Peradventure, this is not fortune's work neither, but nature's, who perceiveth our natural wits too dull to reason of such goddesses, and hath therefore sent in this natural for our whetstone. For always the dullness of the fool is the whetstone of the wits. How now, witch? Whither wander you?
Mistress, you must come away to your father.
Were you made the messenger?
No, by mine honor. But I was bid to come for you.
Where learned you that oath, fool?
Of a certain knight that swore by his honor the pancakes were good, and swore by his honor the mustard was not. Now I'll swear to it. The pancakes were not, and the mustard was good, and yet was not the knight forsworn.
And how prove you that in the great heap of your knowledge?
Ay, marry, now unmuzzle your wisdom.
Stand you both forth now. Stroke your chins and swear by your beards that I am a knave.
By our beards, if we had them. Thou art.
By my knavery, if I had it, then I were. But if you swear by that is not, you are not forsworn. No more was this knight swearing by his honor, for he never had any. Or if he had, he had sworn it away long before he ever saw those pancakes. Or that mustard.
Prithee, who is it thou meanest?
One that old Frederick, your father, loves.
My father's love is enough to honor him. Enough. Speak no more of him. You will be whipped for taxation one of these days.
The more pity the fools may not speak wisely when wise men do foolishly.
By my troth, thou sayest true. For since the little wit that fools have was silence, the little foolery that wise men have makes a great show. Oh, here comes Monsieur Le Beau.
Oh, with his mouth full of news.
Which he will put on us as a pigeon feeds their young.
Then shall we be news crammed.
All the better. We'll be more marketable. Bonjour, Monsieur Le Beau. What's the news?
Princess, you have lost much good sport.
Sport. Of what color?
What color, madam? How shall I answer you?
As wit and fortune will.
Or as the destiny decrees.
Well said. That was laid on with a trowel.
Hey, if I keep not my rank.
Thou losest to thy old smell.
That you meant, my ladies. I would have told you of go wrestling, which you've got the sight of.
Yet tell us the manner of the wrestling.
I will tell you the beginning, and if it please your ladyship, you may see the end. For the best is yet to do, and here where you are, they are coming to perform it.
Well, the beginning, that is dead and buried.
Here comes an old man and his 3 sons.
I could match this beginning with an old tale.
3 proper young men of excellent growth and presence.
With bills on their necks, let it be known unto all men by these presents.
The eldest of the 3 wrestled with Charles, the Duke's wrestler, which Charles in a moment threw him and broke 3 of his ribs, that there is little hope of life in him. And so he serves the second, and so the third. Yonder they died, the poor man, their father, making such pitiful dole, that all the beholders take his part with weeping. Alas!
But what is the sport, monsieur, the ladies have lost sight of?
What is this that I speak of?
Thus men may grow wiser every day. It is the first time that ever I heard the breaking of ribs was sport for ladies.
Nor I promise thee.
Yet, is there any else longs to see this broken music in his sides? Is there yet another dotes upon rib breaking? Oh, shall we see this wrestling, cousin?
You most of you stay here, for here is the place appointed for the wrestling, as they are ready to perform it.
Oh, yonder, sure they are come. Let us now stay and see it.
Come on! If the youth will not be entreated at his own peril in his forwardness.
Is yonder the man?
Even here, madame.
Alas, he is too young, yet
He looks successfully.
How now, daughter and cousin? Are you crept hither to see the wrestling?
Aye, my liege, so please you give us leave.
You'll take little delight in it, I can tell you. There's such odds in the man. In pity of the challenger's youth, I would fain dissuade him, but he will not be moved. Speak to him, ladies. See if you can stir him.
call him hither, good Monsieur Le Beau.
Do so. I'll not be by.
Miss Calls, the challenger, the princess calls for you.
Oh, I attend them with all respect and duty.
Young man, have you challenged Charles the wrestler?
No, fair princess. He is the general challenger. I come but in as others do, to try with him the strength of my youth.
Young sir, your spirits are too bold for your years. You have seen cruel proof of this man's strength. If you saw yourself with your eyes or knew yourself with your judgment, fear of your adventure would counsel you to a more equal enterprise. We pray you, for your own sake, to embrace your safety and give over this attempt.
Do, young sir. Your reputation shall not therefore be misprized. We will make it our suit to the Duke that the wrestling might not go forward.
I beseech you, punish me not with your hard thoughts, wherein I confess me much guilty to deny so fair and excellent ladies anything. But let your fair eyes and gentle wishes go with me to my trial, wherein if I be foiled, there is but one shame that was never gracious. If killed, but one dead that is willing to be so. I will do my friends no wrong, for I have none to lament me. The world no injury, for in it I have nothing. Only in the world I fill up a place, which may be better supplied when I have made it empty.
The little strength that I have, I would it were with you. And mind you got hers. Fare you well. Pray heaven I be deceived in you. Your heart's desire be with you.
Where is this young gallant that is so desirous to lie with his mother?
Already, sir, but his will hath in it a more modest working. You shall try but one fall.
Nah, I want your grace. You'll not have to treat him to a second that has so mightily persuaded him from a first.
Oh, you mean to mock me after? You should not have mocked me before, but come your ways.
May Hercules be thy speed, young man. I would I were invisible to catch the strong fellow by the leg. Excellent, young man. Had I a thunderbolt in mine eye, I could tell who should down.
No more. Yes, I beseech your grace. I am not yet well breathed. How dost thou, Charles?
He cannot speak, my lord.
Bear him away. What is thy name, young man? Orlando, my liege, the youngest son of Sir Rowland de Boice. I would thou hadst been son to some man else. The world esteemed thy father honorable, but I did find him still mine enemy. Thou hadst better pleased me with this deed hadst thou descended from another house. But fare thee well. Thou art a gallant youth. I would thou hadst told me of another father.
Were I my father, cuz would I do this?
I am more proud to be Sir Rowland's son, his youngest son, who would not change that calling to be adopted heir to Frederick.
My father loved Sir Rowland as his soul, and all the world was of my father's mind. Had I before known this man, his son, I should have given him tears unto entreaties ere he thus should have ventured.
Gentle cousin, let us go forth and thank him and encourage him. My father's rough and envious disposition strikes me at heart. Good sir, you are well deserved. If you do keep your promises in love, but justly as you have exceeded all promise here, your mistress shall be happy.
Oh, no, wait.
Gentlemen, wear this for me.
Thank you.
One out of suits with fortune that could give more, but that her hand lacks means. Will you go, Coos? Aye, fare you well, fair gentleman.
Can I not say I thank you? My better parts are all thrown down, and that which here stands is but a quintain, a mere lifeless block.
He calls us back? My pride fell with my fortunes. I'll ask him what he would. Sir, did you call? Sir, you have wrestled well and overthrown more than your enemies. Will you go, Coos?
I'm with you.
Fare you well.
What passion hangs these weights upon my tongue? I cannot speak to her, yet she urged conference. So poor Orlando, thou art overthrown, or Charles or something weaker masters thee.
Good sir, I do in friendship counsel you to leave this place. I'll bet you have deserved high commendation, true applause and love, such as now the Duke's condition, that he must constant to all that you have done. The Duke is humorous, but he is indeed more suits you to conceive than I to speak of.
I thank you, and pray you tell me this, which of the two was daughter of the Duke that was here at the wrestling?
Neither is daughter if we judge by manners, but yet indeed, the taller is his daughter, the other is daughter to the banished Duke, who was detained by her usurping uncle to keep his daughter's company, who loves are dearer than the natural bond of sisters. I can tell you, of late, this Duke had taken displeasure against his gentle niece, grounded upon no other argument, but that the people praise her for her virtues and pity her for her good father's sake. And on my life, his malice against the lady will suddenly break forth. Sir, fare you well. Hereafter, in a better world than this, I shall desire more love and knowledge of you.
I rest much bounden to you. Fare you well. Thus must I, from the smoke into the smother, from tyrant dupe unto a tyrant brother. But heavenly Rosalind,
Why, cousin? Why, Rosalind? Cupid have mercy, not a word?
Oh, not one to throw at a dog.
No, thy words are too precious to be cast away upon curse. Throw some of them at me. Come, name me with reasons.
Then there were two cousins laid up when the one should be lamed with reasons and the other mad without any.
But is all this for your father?
No, some of it is for my child's father. Oh, how full of briars is this working day world!
They are but burrs, cousin, thrown upon thee in holiday foolery. If we walk not in the trodden paths, our very petticoats will catch them.
I could shake them off my coat. These burrs are in my heart.
Hem them away.
I would if I could cry hem and have him.
Come, wrestle with thy affection.
Oh, they take the part of a better wrestler than myself.
And a good wish upon you. You will try again in time, despite a fall. But turning these jests out of service, let us speak in good earnest. Is it possible on such a sudden you should fall into so strong a liking with old Sir Rowland's youngest son?
The Duke, my father, loved his father dearly.
Doth it therefore ensure you should love his son dearly? By this kind of chase, I should hate him, for my father hated his father dearly. Yet I hate not Orlando.
No, hate him not for my sake.
Should I not? Doth he not deserve well?
Let me love him for that, and do you love him because I do?
Oh, here comes the Duke, with his eyes full of anger.
Mistress, dispatch you with your safest haste and get you from our court.
Me, uncle?
You, cousin, if that thou within these 10 days be found so near our public court as 20 miles, thou diest for it.
I do beseech your grace, let the knowledge of my fault bear with me. If with myself I hold intelligence, or have acquaintance with mine own desires, if that I do not dream or be not frantic, as I do trust that I am not, then, dear uncle, never so much as in a thought unborn sworn did I offend your highness.
Thus do all traitors. If they're purgation and inconsistent words, they are as innocent as grace itself. Let it suffice thee that I trust thee not.
Yet your mistrust cannot make me a traitor. Tell me whereon the likelihood depends.
Thou art my father's daughter. That's enough.
So was I when your highness took his dukedom. So was I when your highness banished him. Treason is not inherited, my lord. Or if we did derive it from our friends, what's that to me? My father was no traitor. Then, good my liege, mistake me not so much to think my poverty is treacherous.
Dear sovereign, hear me speak.
Aye, Celia, we stayed her for your sake, else had she with her father ranged along.
I did not then entreat to have her stay. It was your pleasure and your own remorse. I was too young that time to value her. But now I know her. If she be a traitor, why then so am I. We still have slept together, rose in an instant, learned, played, ate together, and wheresoe'er we went, like Juno's swans, we went coupled and inseparable.
She is too subtle for thee. And her silence, her very smoothness, and her patience speak to the people, and they pity her. Thou art a fool. She robs thee of thy name, and thou wilt shine more bright and seem more virtuous when she is gone. Then open not thy lips. Firm and irrevocable is the doom which I have placed upon her. She is banished.
Pronounce that sentence then on me, my liege. I cannot live out of her company.
You are a fool. You, niece, provide yourself. If you outstay the time, upon mine honor and in the greatness of my word, you die.
Oh, my poor Rosalind. Whither wilt thou go? Will thou change fathers? I will give thee mine. I charge thee, be thou not more grieved than I am.
I have more cause.
Thou hast not, cousin. Prithee, be cheerful. Knowest thou not the Duke hath banished me, his daughter?
That he hath not.
No, hath not. Rosalind lacks then the love that teaches thee that thou and I am one. Shall we be sundered? Shall we part, sweet girl? No, let my father seek another heir. Therefore, devise with me how we may fly, whither to go, and what to bear with us. And do not seek to take your change upon you, to bear you griefs yourself and leave me out. For by this heaven now at our sorrows pale, say what thou canst. I'll go along with thee.
Why, whither shall we go?
To seek my uncle in the forest of Arden.
Alas, what danger will it be to us maids as we are to travel forth so far? Beauty provoketh thieves sooner than gold.
I'll put myself in poor and mean attire, and with a kind of umber smirch my face. The like do you. So shall we range along and ne'er stir assailants.
Were it not better that I did suit me all points, like a man, a gallant curtleaxe upon my thigh, a boar spear in my hand, and in my heart lie there what hidden woman's fear there will. We'll have a swashing and a marshal outside, as many other mannish cowards do that do outface it with their semblances.
And what shall I call thee when thou art a man?
I'll have no worse a name than Jove's own page. Therefore, look you call me Ganymede. But what will you be called?
Something that hath a reference to my state. No longer Celia, but Aliena.
But cousin, what if we essayed to steal the clownish fool out of your father's court? Would he not be a comfort to our travels?
He'll range along o'er the wide world with me. Leave me alone to woo him. But let's away and get our jewels and our wealth together. Devise the fittest time and safest way to avoid pursuit that will be made after our flight. Now go we forth in content to liberty, and not to banishment.
co-mates and brothers in exile, hath not old custom made this life more sweet than that of painted pomp? Are not these woods more free from peril than the envious court? Here fill we but the penalty of Adam, the season's difference, which, as the icy fang and churlish shining of the winter's wind, even as it bites and blows upon my body, even though I shrink with cold, I smile and say, this is no flattery. These are counselors that feelingly persuade me what I am. Sweet are the uses of adversity, which, like the toad, ugly and venomous, wears it a precious jewel in his head. And this our life, exempt from public haunt, finds tongues in trees, books in the running brooks, sermons in stones, and good in everything.
I would not change it. Happy is your grace that can translate the stubbornness of fortune into so quiet and so sweet a style.
Come, shall we go and kill us venison? Yet it irks me, the poor dappled fools, being native burghers of this desert city, should in their own confines with forked heads have their round haunches gored.
Indeed, my lord, the melancholy Jacques grieves at that, and in kinds whereas you do more usurp than doth your brother that hath banished you.
Aye.
Today, my lord of Amiens and myself did steal behind him as he lay along the upper oak whose antique roof peeps out upon the brook that brawls along this wood, to which a place a poor sequestered stag that from the hunter's aim did take in a hurt and did come to languish. And indeed, my lord, the wretched animal heaved forth such groans that from their discharge did stretch his leathern coat almost to bursting. And then one big round tear coursed one another down his innocent nose in piteous chase. And thus the hairy fool, much marked with the melancholy Jacques, stood on the extreme verge of a swift brook, augmenting it with tears.
But what said Jacques? Did he not moralize this spectacle?
Oh, yes, into 1,000 similes. First for his weeping into a needless stream. Poor dear, quoth he, thou hast marked a testament as worldlings do, giving thy son more to which had too much, and then being there left in abandon of his velvet friends. 'Tis right, quoth he. Thus misery doth part the flocks of company, anon a careless herd, full of pasture, jumps along by him, but never stays to greet him. Aye, quoth Jacques, sweep on, you fat and greasy citizens, 'tis just fashion, wherefore you look upon the poor, broken, and bankrupt here. And thus most invective keep pierced through the body of country, city, and court, and of this our lives, wherein that we are mere usurpers, tyrants. What's worse, to fight the animals and to kill them in their assigned and native dwelling places.
And did you leave him in this contemplation?
We did, my lord, weeping and commenting on the sobbing deer.
Show me the place. I love to cope him in these sullen fits, for then he's full of matter.
I'll bring him to you straight.
Can it be possible that no man saw them? It cannot be. Some villains of my court are of consent and sufferance in this.
I cannot hear of any that did see her. The ladies of her attendant's chamber saw her abed in the early morning, but found their bed untreasured of their mistress.
My lord, the British clown at whom so oft your grace was wont to laugh is also Miss Hesperia, the princess's gentlewoman, confesses that she secretly overheard your daughter and her cousin much commend the parts and graces of the wrestler that did but lately foil the sinewy Charles, and she believes that wherever they are gone, that youth is surely in her company.
Bring his brother to me. Fetch that gallant hither. If he be absent, find out his brother. I'll make him fight. And in the meantime, let not search and inquisition fail to find these foolish runaways.
Oh, who's there?
My sweet master, oh, you memory of old Sir Roland, why are you virtuous? Why do people love you? And wherefore are you gentle, strong, and valiant? Why would you be so fond to overcome the bonny prizer of the humorous Duke? Your praise is come too swiftly home before you. Know you not, master, to some kind of men, their graces serve them but as enemies. No more do yours. Your virtues, gentle master, are sanctified and holy traitors to you. Oh, what world is this when what is comely envenoms him that bears it?
Why, what's the matter?
Oh, unhappy youth, come not within these doors, for within this roof the enemy of all your graces lives. Your brother, no brother, yet the son, yet not the son. I'll not call him son of he I was about to call his father, hath heard your praises, and this night he means to burn the lodging where you used to lie, and you within it. If he fail of that, he will have other means to cut you off. I overheard him and his practices. This is no place. This house is but a butchery. Abhor it, fear it, do not enter it.
But whither, Adam, wouldst thou have me go?
No matter whither, so you come not here.
What? Wouldst thou have me go and beg my food? Or the base and boisterous sword and force the thievish living on the common road? This I must do, or know not what to do, yet this I will not do. Do how I can, I rather will subject me to the malice of my diverted blood and bloody brother.
But do not soak. I have 500 crowns, the thrifty hire which I did save under your father, and stored to be my foster nurse when service should in these old limbs lie lame and unregarded age in corners thrown. Take that, and he that doth the ravens feed, yea, providently cater for the sparrow, be comfort to my age. Here is the gold. Take it. All this I give you. Let me be your servant. Though I look old, I am yet strong and lusty, for never in my youth did I apply hot and rebellious liquors in my blood. Therefore, my age is as a lusty winter, frosty, but kindly. Let me go with you. I will do the services of a younger man in all your business and necessities.
Oh, good old man, how well in thee appears the constant service of the antique world, where none will sweat but for promotion, and with that will choke their service up, even with the having. It is not so with thee, but poor old man, thou prunest a rotten tree that cannot so much as a blossom yield, in lieu of all thy pains and husbandry. Ah, but come thy ways, we'll go along together.
Master, go on, and I will follow thee to the last gasp with truth and loyalty. From 17 years till now, almost 80. Here I lived, but now live here no more. At 17 years, many his fortune seek, but at 80, it is too late a week. But fortune cannot recompense me better than to die well and not my master's debtor.
For your spirits, if only my legs were not weary.
I could find in my heart to disgrace my man's apparel and to cry like a woman, but I must comfort the weaker vessel, as doublet and hose ought to show itself courageous to petticoat. Therefore, courage, good Aliena.
I pray you bear with me. I cannot go no further. Oh.
For my part, I had rather bear you than bear with you, and yet I feel I should bear no cross if I did bury you, for I feel you have no money in your purse.
Well, this is the Forest of Arden.
Aye, now am I in Arden, the more fool I. When I was at home, I was in a better place, but travelers must be content.
Aye, be so, good Touchstone. Oh. Look you who comes here. A young man and an old in solemn talk. Oh,
That
oop.
is the way to make her scorn you still.
Oh, Corin, that thou didst know how much I love her.
I partly guess, for I've loved ere now.
No, Corin, being old, thou canst not know. Though in thy youth, thou was true lover that ever sat on midnight pillow. But if thy love were like to mine, as never did I think a man did love so, how many actions most ridiculous wast thou drawn to by the object of thy fantasy?
Into 1,000 that I have forgotten.
Oh, that thou hast never loved so heartily, for if thou dost not remember the slightest instance of folly thy love made thee run into, thou hast not loved. If you have not sat, as I do now, wearing thy hero with thy mistress's praises, thou hast not loved. And if you have not broke from company abruptly, as my passion now makes me, thou hast not loved. Oh, Phebe! Phebe! Phebe!
Alas, poor shepherd, searching of thy wound, I have by hard adventure found mine own.
And I mine. I remember when I was in love. I broke my sword across a stone and bid him take that for coming a night to Jane's smile. And I remember the kissing of her battler and of the cow's dugs that her pretty chopped hands had milked. And I remember the wooing of a peas cod instead of her, and winning from it 2 cods, giving her them again, crying, "Wear these for my sake, laddle." We that are true lovers run into some strange capers. But as all is mortal in nature, so is all nature and love mortal in form.
Thou speakest wiser than thou art ware of.
Nay, I shall never be ware of mine own wit till I break my shins against it.
Jove, Jove, this shepherd's passion is much upon my fashion.
And mine, though it grows somewhat stale with me.
I pray you, will one of you ask yon man if he will for gold give us something to eat? I faint almost to death.
Holla, you clown!
Peace, fool, he's not thy kinsman.
Who calls?
You're better, sir.
Else are they very wretched.
Peace, I say. Good even to you, friend.
Good even to you, gentle sir, and to you all.
I pray you, shepherd, bring us where we may rest ourselves and feed. Here's a young maid with travel much oppressed and faints for succor.
Fair sir, I pity her and wish for her sake more than my own that my fortunes were more able to relieve her, but I am shepherd to another man and do not shear the fleeces that I graze. Besides, his coat, his flocks and bound of feed are now on sale, and at his sheepcote now, by reason of his absence, there is nothing for you to feed on. But what is, come see, and in my voice most welcome you shall be.
What is he that shall buy the flock and pasture?
That young swain you saw erewhile that little cares for buying anything.
I pray you, if it stand with honesty, buy thou the cottage, pasture, and the flock, and thou shalt have pay for it of us.
And we will mend thy wages. I like this place and could willingly waste my time in it.
Oh, assuredly, the thing is to be sold. Come with me. If you like upon report the soul, the profit, and this kind of life, I will your very faithful feeder be, and buy it with your gold right suddenly.
On Monsieur Jacques.
More, I prithee thee, more. I thank it. I can suck the melancholy out of a song as a weasel sucks eggs. More, I prithee thee, more.
My voice is ragged. I know I cannot please you.
I do not desire you to please me. I do desire you to sing. More, prithee thee, more. Come, another stanzo. Call you them stanzos.
What you will, Monsieur Jacques.
Nay, I care not for their names. They owe me nothing. Will you sing?
More at your request than to please myself.
Ah, well then, if ever I thank any man, I'll thank you. But that they call compliment is like the encounter of two dog apes. And when a man thanks me heartily, he thinks I've given him a penny, and he renders me the beggarly thanks. Come, sing, and you that will not, hold your tongue.
Well, I'll finish the verse. Sirs, cover the while. The Duke would drink under this tree. He hath been all this day to look you.
I've been all this day to avoid him. He is too disputable for my company. I think of as many matters as he. Give heaven thanks and make no boast of them. Come, warble, come.
Who doth ambition shun, and loves to live in the sun, seeking the food he gets, and pleased with what he gets. Come hither, come hither, come hither. Here shall he see no enemy but winter and rough weather.
Now, I will give you a verse in this note that I wrote yesterday in despite of my invention.
And I'll sing it.
Thus it goes. If it do come to pass that any man turn ass, leaving his wealth in ease, a stubborn will to please, a Duke Dame, Duke Dame, Duke Dame. Here shall he see a gross of fools is he, and if he will come to me.
What's that, Duke Dame?
'Tis a Greek invocation to call fools into a circle. I'll go to sleep if I can, and if I cannot, I'll rail against all the firstborn of Egypt.
And I'll seek the Duke. His banquet is prepared.
Master, I can go no further. Oh, I die for food. Here lie I down and measure out my grave. Farewell, kind master.
Well now, Adam, no greater heart in thee. Live a little, comfort a little, cheer thyself a little. If there live anything in this uncouth forest, I will either bring thee food for it or bring it for food to thee. Thy conceit is nearer death than thy powers. For my sake, be comfortable. Hold death a while at the arm's end. I'll be with thee presently, and if I bring thee not something to eat, I'll give thee leave to die. But if thou diest before I come, thou art mocker of my labor. Well said. Thou look'st cheerly, and I'll be with thee quickly. Thou shalt not die for lack of a dinner, if there live anything in this desert. Cheerly, good Adam.
I think he'd be transformed into a beast, for I can nowhere find him like a man.
My lord, he is even now gone hence. Here was he merry, hearing of a song.
Though, if he, compact of jars, grow musical, we shall have shortly. Discord in the spheres. Go seek him out. Tell him I would speak with him at Discord in the spheres.
Saves my labor by his own approach.
Why, how now, monsieur? What a life is this when your poor friends must woo your company? What? You look merrily.
A fool. A fool. I met a fool in the forest. A motley fool. A miserable world. I do live by food. I met a fool. Who laid him down and basked in the sun and railed on Lady Fortune in good terms. In good set terms. And yet, a motley fool. A good moral fool, quoth I. No, sir, quoth he, call me not a fool until heaven hath sent me fortune. And then he drew a dial from his poke, and looking on it with lackluster eye, says very wisely, "'Tis 10 o'clock, and thus we may see," quoth he, "how the world wags. 'Tis but an hour ago since it was 9, and in another 'twill be 11. And so we see by hour the world ripes and ripes, and the world by hour rots and rots, and thereby hangs a tale." When I did hear the motley fool thus moral on time, my lungs did begin to crow like a chanticleer, that fools should be so deep contemplative. And I laughed sans intermission an hour by his dial. Oh, noble fool, a worthy fool. Oh, motley is the only way.
What fool is this?
A worthy fool, one that hath been a courtier, and says, "If ladies be but young and fair, they have the gift to know it." And in his brain, which is as dry as the remainder biscuit after a voyage, he hath strange places crammed with observation, the likes of which he vents in mangled form. Oh, that I were a fool. I am ambitious for a motley coat.
Thou shalt have one.
Ah, it is my only suit. Provided that you weed your better judgments in all opinions that grows rank in them, that I am wise. For I must have liberty with all, as large as charter as the wind, to blow on whom I please. For so fools have. And they that are most galled by my folly, they most must laugh. Why, sir, must they, you ask? Well, the why is as plain as the way to parish church. Invest me in my motley. Give me liberty to speak my mind, and I will, through and through, cleanse the foul, infected body of the world if they will patiently receive my medicine.
Fie on thee! I can tell what thou wouldst do.
Oh, what for a counter would I do but good?
Most mischievous foul sin in chiding sin. Thou hast always been a libertine, as sensual as the brutish sting itself, and all the headed sores and embossed evils that thou with license of freefoot hast caught, wouldst thou disgorge into the general world?
Why, who cries out on pride that can therein tax any private party? What woman in the city do I name? When I say the city woman bears the cost of princes on unworthy shoulders. Who can come in and say that I name her, when one such as she is her neighbor? Oh, what then? Where then? How then? Let me see wherein my tongue hath wronged her. If I be right, then she hath wronged herself. And if she be free, why then my taxing like a wild goose flies unclaimed of any woman.
Oh, who comes here?
Forbear and eat no more.
I have ate none yet.
Nor shalt not till necessity be served.
What kind should this cock come of? Art thou thus bolted by thy distress, or else a rude despiser of good manners that in civility thou dost seem so empty?
You touched my vein at first. The thorny point of their distress hath taken from me the show of smooth civility. Yet am I inland bred and no stum nurture. But forbear, I say, he dieth that touches any of this fruit, till I and my affairs are answered.
And you shall not be answered with reason. I must die.
What will you have? Your gentleness shall force more than your force move us to gentleness.
I almost died for food. Let me have it.
Sit you down and feed, and welcome to our table.
Speak you so gently. Oh, pardon me, I pray you. I thought that all things had been savage here, and therefore put I on the countenance of stern commandment. But where you are, that in this desert inaccessible, under the shade of melancholy boughs, lewd to neglect the creeping hours of time. If ever you have looked on better days, if ever sat at good man's feast, if ever from your eyelids wiped a tear and know what 'tis to pity and be pitied, let gentleness my strong enforcement be, in the which hope I blush and hide my sword.
True is it that we have seen better days, and have with holy bell been knolled to church, and sat at Goodman's feasts, and wiped our eyes of drops that sacred pity hath engendered. And therefore sit you down in gentleness, and take upon command what help we have that your wanting may be ministered.
Then but forbear your food a little while, whilst, like I do, I go to find my fawn and give it food. There is an old poor man in the forest, who after me hath many a weary step lived in pure love, till he be first sufficed to press with 2 weak evils, age and hunger. I will not touch a bit.
Go, seek him out, and we will nothing waste till you return.
I thank you, and be blessed for your good comfort.
Thou seest we are not all alone unhappy. This wide and universal theater presents more woeful pageants than the scene wherein we play in.
And all the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players. They have their exits and their entrances, and one man in his time plays many parts. His act being of 7 ages. The first, the infant, crying, mewling and puking in his nurse's arms. And then the schoolboy, with satchel and shining morning face, creeping like snail unwillingly to school. And then the lover, sighing like furnace, with a woeful ballad made to his mistress's eyebrow. And then the soldier, full of strange oaths, bearded like the pard, jealous in honor, and sudden and quick to quarrel, seeking the bubble reputation even in the cannon's mouth. Then the justice, with fair round belly and good cape on line, with eyes severe and beard of formal cuts, full of wise saws and modern instances. And so he plays his part. The 6th stage slips into the lean and slippered pantaloon, his youthful hose well saved, a world too wide for his shrunk shank and his big manly pipes turning towards childish treble, with pipes and whistles in their sound.
The last stage of all that ends this strange, eventful history. Second childishness and mere oblivion. Sans teeth, sans eyes, sans taste, sans everything.
Welcome. Set down your venerable burden and let him feed.
I thank you most for him.
Such is here the need. I scarce can speak to thank you for myself.
Welcome. Fall to. I will not trouble you as yet to ask about your fortunes. Give us some music, and good cousins, sing.
Blow, blow, thou winter wind, thou art not so unkind as man's ingratitude. Thy truth is not so keen, because thou art not seen, although thy breath be rude. Then hey-ho, sing hey-ho, unto the green holly, most friendship is fading, most loving me falling. Hey-ho, the holly, this life is most jolly.
If you are that good Sir Roland's son, be truly welcome hither. I am the Duke that loved your father. The residue of your fortune, go to my cave and tell me. Good old man, thou art rightly welcome hither. Come, take him by the arm. Give me your hand, let me all your fortunes understand. Not sing him sense? Sir, that cannot be. But were I not the better part made mercy, I should not seek an absent argument of my revenge, thou present. But look to it. Find out thy brother wheresoe'er he is. Seek him with candor. Bring him before us, dead or living, within a 12-month, or look thou no more to make a living in our territory. Thy lands, and all the things that thou dost call thine with seizing, do we seize into our hands, till thou canst quit thee of thy brother's mouth of what we think against thee.
That my highness knew my heart in this. I have never loved my brother a day in my life.
Poor villain now. Well, turn him out of doors, and let my officers of such a nature make an extent upon his house and lands. Do this expediently, and turn him going.
Freeze, freeze, thou bitter sky. Thou dost not bite so nigh, as benefits forgot. Though thou the waters walk, thy sting is not so sharp, as friend remembered not. And hey-ho, sing hey-ho, under the green holly, most friendship is fading, most loving. We're falling, hey-ho. Hey-ho, the holly, this life is most jolly.
Hang there, my verse, in witness of my love, and thou thrice crowned queen of night, serving with thy chaste eye from thy pale sphere above, thy huntress's name that my full life doth sway. Oh, Rosalind, these trees shall be my books, and in their box my thoughts I'll character, that every eye which in this forest looks shall see thy virtues witnessed everywhere. Run, run, Orlando, carve on every tree the fair, the chaste, the unexpressive, she.
And how like you this shepherd's life, Master Touchstone?
Truly, shepherd, in respect of itself, it is a good life. But as it is a shepherd's life, it is not. In respect that it is solitary, I like it very well. But in respect that it is private, it is a very vile life. As it is a spare life, look you, it fits my humor well. But as it is, has no more plenty in it, it goes much against my stomach. Oh. Hast any philosophy in thee, shepherd?
No more, but that I know, the more one sickens, the worse it easy is. That he that wants money and beans and content is without 3 good friends. That the property of rain is to wet and fire to burn. That good pastures make fat sheep. And that a great cause of the night is the lack of the sun. That he that hath learned no wit by nature nor art can complain of good breeding or comes of very dull kindred.
Such a one is a natural philosopher. Wast ever at court?
No, truly.
Oh, then thou art damned.
Nay, I hope.
Truly, thou art damned. Like an ill-roasted egg, all on one side.
For not being at court, your reason.
Why, if thou never wast at court, thou never sawest good manners. And if thou never sawest good manners, then thy manners must be wicked. And wickedness is sin, and sin is damnation. Thou art in a parlous state, shepherd.
Not a whit, Touchstone. The behavior of the court is as ridiculous as the country, as the behavior of the country is most mockable at the court. You told me you salute not at the court, but that you kiss your hands. That courtesy would be uncleanly if courtiers were shepherds.
Oh, instance, briefly, come, instance.
What? We are still handling our ewes, and their fells, you know, are greasy.
Do not your courtiers' hands sweat? And is not the grease of a mutton as wholesome as the sweat of a man? Shallow, shallow. A sounder instance, I say. Come.
Well, besides, our hands are hard.
Your lips will feel them the sooner. A better instance, I say. Shallow again. Come.
And they are often tarred over with the surgery of our sheep. Would you have us kiss tar? The courtier's hands are perfumed with civet.
Most shallow man. Now worms meet in respect of a good piece of flesh indeed. Learn of the wise and perpend. Civet is of a baser birth than tar, the very uncleanly flux of a cat. Mend the instant, shepherd.
You have too courtly a wit for me. I'll rest.
Wilt thou rest damned? God help thee, shallow man. God make incision in thee, thou art raw.
Sir, I am a true laborer. I earn that I eat, get that I wear, owe no man hate, envy no man's happiness, and the greatest of my pride is to see my ewes graze and my lambs suck.
That is another simple sin in you. To bring the ewes and the rams together, and to offer to make your living by the copulation of cattle, to be bought to a bellwether, and to betray a she-lamb of a 12-month to a crooked painted old pepperly ram out of all reasonable match. If thou beest not damned for this, the devil himself will have no shepherds. I cannot see how else thou can escape.
Here comes young Master Ganymede, my new mistress's brother.
From the east to western end, no jewel is like Rosalind. Her worth being mounted on the wind through all the world bears Rosalind. All the picture's fairest line are but black to Rosalind. Let no face be kept in mind, but the fair of Rosalind. Ill.
I'll rhyme you so 8 years together. Dinners and suppers and sleeping hours accepted. It is the right butterwoman's right to market.
Oh, out, fool.
For a taste. If a hart do lack a hind, let him seek out Rosalind. If the cat will after kind, so be sure will Rosalind. Wintered garments must be lined, so must slender Rosalind. They that reap must chief and bind, then to cut with Rosalind. Sweetest nut hath sourest rind, such a nut as Rosalind. He that sweetest rose must find, will find love's prick, and Rosalind. This is the very false gallop of verses. Why do you infect yourself with that?
Peace, you dull fool. I found them on a tree.
Oh, truly, the tree yields bad fruit.
I'll graft it with you, and then I shall graft you with a meddler. Then you'll be the earliest fruit of the country, for you'll be rotten ere you be half ripe. And that's the right virtue of the meddler.
Well, you have said, but whether wisely or no, let the forest judge.
Oh, peace. Here comes my sister reading. Oh, stand aside.
Why should this a desert be? For it is unpeopled? No. Tongues I'll hang on every tree that shall civil sayings show. But upon the fairest bough, or at every sentence's end, will I Rosalinda write, teaching all that read to know the quintessence of every sprite. Heaven would in little show, therefore heaven nature charged, that one body should be filled with all graces wide and large. Nature presently distilled Helen's cheek, but not her heart. Cleopatra's majesty, Atlanta's better part. Sad Lucretia's modesty. Thus a Rosalind of many parts. By heavenly synod was devised, of many faces, eyes, and hearts. Heaven would that she these gifts should have, and I to live and die her slave.
Oh, most weary pulpiter, what tedious homily of love have you wearied your parishioners withal, and never cried, have patience, good people.
How now? Go off a bit, friends. Go back, shepherd. Go with him, Sierra.
Come, shepherd, let us make an honorable retreat. Though not with bag and baggage, yet with scrip and scrippage. Oh.
Didst thou hear these verses? Oh, yes, and more, for some of them had in them more feet than the verses could bear.
Oh, that's no matter. The feet might bear the verses.
Aye, but the feet were lame, and could not bear themselves without the verse, and therefore stood lamely in the verse.
But didst thou hear without wondering how thy name should come to be hanged and carved upon these trees?
I was 7 of the 9 days out of the wonder before you came, for look what I found on a palm tree. I was never so berhymed since Pythagoras' time that I was an Irish rat, which I can hardly remember.
Trow you who hath done this?
Is it a man?
And a chain that you once wore about his neck. Change you color? Who is it? Lord, Lord, it is a hard thing for friends to meet. But mountains may be moved by earthquakes and thus encounter.
Nay, but who is it?
Is it possible?
Nay, I prithee now, with most petitionary vehemence, tell me who it is.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And wonderful still. And, after all,
oh, good my complexion! Dost thou think though I am comparisoned like a man, I have a doublet and hose in my disposition? 1 inch of delay more is a South Sea of discovery. Oh, I say, tell me who it is quickly and speak apace. I would that thou couldst stammer, that thou mightst pour this concealed man out of thy mouth as wine comes out of a narrow-mouthed bottle, either too much at once or none at all. I prithee, take the cork out of thy mouth, that I may drink thy tidings. man in your belly? Is he of God's making? What manner of man? Is his head worth a hat, or his chin worth a beard?
Nay, he hath but a little beard.
Why, God will send him more if the man be thankful. Let me stay the growth of his beard, if thou delay me not the knowledge of his chin.
It is young Orlando who tripped up the wrestler's heels and your heart both in an instant.
Nay, but the devil take mocking. Speak sad brow and true, maid.
In faith, cuz 'tis he.
Orlando. Alas, the day! What shall I do with my doublet and hose? What said he when thou got there? How looked he? When went he? What makes he here? Did he ask for me? Oh, how parted he with thee? And when shalt thou see him again? Answer me in one word. You must borrow me gargantuous mouth first. 'Tis a word too great for any mouth of this age's size.
To say I am no to these particulars, it's more than to answer in a catechism.
But doth he know that I am in this forest and in man's apparel? Looks he as freshly as he did the day he wrestled?
It is as easy to count atomies as to resolve the propositions of lover. But, come, take a taste of my finding him, and relish it with good observance. I found him dropped under a tree, like an acorn.
Oh, it may well be called Jove's tree when it drops forth such fruit.
Give me audience, good madam.
Oh, proceed.
There he lay, stretched along like a wounded knight.
Oh, though it be pity to see such a sight, it well becomes the ground.
Cry hollow to thy tongue, it curvets unseasonably. He was furnished like a hunter. Oh, ominous, he comes to kill my heart. I would sing my song without a burden. Thou bringest me out of tune.
Do you not know that I am a woman? When I think, I must speak. Sweet, say on.
You bring me out.
Oh,
Soft, comes he not here?
Oh, does he slink by? Note him.
I thank you for your company, but I had as lief been myself alone.
And so had I, but yet, for fashion's sake, I thank you too for your society.
God be with you. Let's meet as little as we can.
Oh, I do desire that we may be better strangers.
I pray you mar no more trees with writing love songs in their bark.
I pray you mar no more of my verses by reading them ill-favored.
Rosalind, it's your love's name.
Oh yes, just.
I do not like her name.
There was no thought of pleasing you when she was christened.
What stature is she of?
Just as high as my heart.
You are full of pretty answers. Have you not been acquainted with goldsmiths' wives and conned them out of their rings?
Not so. But I answer you right, painted cloth, from whence you have studied your questions.
Ha! You have a nimble wit. I think 'twas made of Atlantis' heels. Come, sit with me, and we two shall rail against our mistress, the world, and all our misery.
I will chide no breather in the world but myself, against whom I know most faults.
Your worst fault is to be in love.
'Tis a fault I would not change for your best virtue. I am weary of you.
By my troth, I was seeking a fool when I found you.
He is drowned in the brook. Look but in, and you shall see him.
There I shall see my own figure.
Which I take to either be a fool or a cipher.
I'll tarry no longer with you. Farewell, good Signor. Love.
I'm glad of your departure. Adieu, good Monsieur Melancholy.
I will speak to him like a saucy lackey, and under that habit play the knave with him. Do you hear, Forester?
Very well. What would you?
I pray you, what is it o'clock?
You should have asked me what time of day. There is no clock in the forest.
Then there is no true lover in the forest, else sighing every minute and groaning every hour would detect the lazy foot of time as well as a clock.
And why not the swift foot of time? Had not that been as proper?
Oh, by no means, sir. Time travels in diverse paces with diverse persons. I'll tell you who time trots withal, who time gallops withal, and
who he stands still withal.
I prithee, who doth he trot withal?
Marry, he trots hard with a young maid between the contract of her marriage and the date 'tis solemnized. If the interim be but a 7 night, time's pace is so hard it seems the length of a 7 year.
Who gallops withal?
Oh, with a thief to the gallows. For though he go as softly as foot can fall, he thinks himself too soon there.
Who stays it still withal?
With lawyers in the vacation, for they sleep between term and term, and then they perceive not how time moves.
Where dwell you, pretty youth?
Oh, with the shepherdess, my sister, here in the skirts of the forest, like fringe upon a petticoat.
Oh, are you native of this place?
As the coney that you see dwell where she is kindled.
Your accent is something finer than you could purchase, and so remove the dwelling.
I have been told so of many. But indeed, an old religious uncle of mine taught me how to speak, who was in his youth an inland man, one that knew courtship too well, for there he fell in love. I have heard him read many lectures against it, and I thank God I am not a woman to be touched with so many giddy offenses as he hath generally taxed their whole sex withal.
Can you remember any of the principal evils that he laid to the charge of women?
Oh, there were none principal. They were all like one another as halfpence are, the one fault seeming monstrous till his fellow fault came to match it.
Well, I prithee recount some of them.
No, I will not cast away my physic but on those that are sick. There's a man haunts these forests that abuses our young plants with carving Rosalind on their barks, hangs odes upon hawthorns and elegies on brambles. Oh, forsooth, deifying the name of Rosalind. If I could find this fancy monger, I might give him some good counsel, for he seems to have the quotidian of love upon him.
I am he that is so love-shaped. I pray you, tell me your remedy.
There are none of my uncle's marks upon you. He taught me how to know a man in love, in whose cage of rushes I am sure you are not prisoner.
What were his marks?
A lean cheek, which you have not. A blue eye and sunken, which you have not. An unquestionable spirit, which you have not. A beard neglected, which you have not, but I pardon you for that, for simply your having a beard is a younger brother's revenue. Then your hose should be ungartered, your bonnet unbanded, your sleeve unbuttoned, your shoes untied, and everything about you demonstrating a careless desolation. But you are no such man. You are rather point device in your accoutrements, as loving yourself than seeming the lover of any other.
Fair youth, I would I could make thee believe I love.
Me believe it? You may soon make her you love believe it, which I warn she is apter to do than to confess she does. That is one of the points in the which women give lie to their consciences. But, in good sooth, are you he that hangs the verses on the trees in the which Rosalind is so admired?
I swear to the youth, by the white hand of Rosalind, I am that he, that unfortunate he.
But are you so much in love as your rhymes speak?
Neither rhyme nor reason can express how much.
Love is merely a madness, I tell you, and deserves as well a dark house and a whip as madmen do. But the reason why they are not so punished and cured is that the lunacy is so ordinary that the whippers are in love too. Yet, I profess curing it by counsel.
Did you ever cure any so?
Yes, one. And in this manner, he was to imagine me, his love, his mistress, and I set him every day to woo me, at the which point would I, being but a moonish youth, grieve, be effeminate, changeable, longing and liking, proud, fantastical, apish, shallow, inconstant, full of tears, full of smiles, for every passion something, and for no passion truly anything, as boys and women are for the most part cattle of this color. Would now like him, now loathe him, then entertain him, then forswear him, now weep for him, then spit at him, that I drave my suitor from his mad humor of love to a living humor of madness, which was to forswear the full stream of the world, and to live in a nook merely monastic. And thus I cured him, and thus will I take it upon me to wash your liver as clean as a sound sheep's heart, that there shall be not one spot of love in it.
I would not be cured, youth.
I would but cure you if you would but call me Rosalind and come every day to my coat and woo me.
Now, by the faith of my love, I will. Tell me where it is.
Go with me to it, and I'll show it to you. And by the way, you shall tell me where in the forest you live. Will you go?
With all my heart, good youth.
Nay, you must call me Rosalind. Sister, will you go?
We'll take a brief 10-minute intermission. Please feel free to use the restrooms or purchase refreshments. At the end of the intermission, music will call you back to return to your seats. Thank you for supporting Coos based Shakespeare in the Park.
Come apace, good Audrey. I will fetch up your goats, Audrey. And how, Audrey? Am I the man yet? Doth my simple feature content you?
Lord warn us, your features. What features?
I am here with thee and thy goats, as that most capricious poet, honest Ovid, was among the Goths. Truly, I would the gods had made thee poetical.
I do not know what poetical is. Is it honest word indeed? Is it a true thing?
Oh, no, truly. For lovers are given to poetry, and the truest poetry is the most fading. And what they swear in poetry may be said as lovers they do fade.
Do you wish then that the gods had made me poetical?
I do, truly. For thou swearest thou art honest. Now, if thou wert a poet, I might have some hope thou didst fade.
Would you not have me honest?
Well, no, truly. Unless that were hard-favored. For honesty coupled to beauty is to have honey as sauce to sugar.
Ah, a material fool.
Well, I am not fair. Therefore, I pray the gods make me honest.
Well, truly. And to cast away honesty on a foul slut would put good meat in an unclean dish.
I'm not a slut. Though I thank the gods I am foul.
Well, praised be the gods for thy foulness. Sluttishness may come hereafter. But be that as it may be, I will marry thee, and to that end, I have been with Sir Oliver Martext, the vicar of the next village, and he hath promised to come to this corner of the forest and to couple us.
Our fate see this maiden.
Well, the gods give us joy.
Amen. A man may, if he were of a fearful heart, quaver in this attempt. For here we have no temple but the woods, no assembly but, horn beasts. But what though? Courage. As horns are odious, they are necessary. Poor men alone? No, no. The noblest deer hath them as huge as the rascal. Is the single man therefore blessed? No. As a little defense is better than no skill, as a walled town is more worthy than a village, so too is the forehead of a married man more honorable than the bare brow of a bachelor. It is Sir Oliver. Sir Oliver Martext, you are very well met. Shall we go with you to your chapel, or will you join us here under this tree?
Is there none here to give the woman?
I will not take her on gift of any man.
Truly, she must be given if the marriage is to be lawful.
Proceed. I'll give her.
Good even, good monsieur, what you call it. God yield you for your company. How I'm very glad to see you. Even a toy in hand here, sir. Nay, pray, be covered.
Will you be married, Motley?
Oh, as the ox hath his bow, the horse his curb, and the falcon her bells, so man hath his desires. And as pigeons' bills, so wedlock would be nibbling.
Oh, and will you, being a man of your breeding, be married to a bush like a beggar? Get thee to church. Have a real priest show you what marriage is. This man will but join you together as they join wainscot, and then one of you will prove a shrunk panel, and like green timber, warp.
I am not in the mind, but I were better to be married of him than of another, for he is not like to marry me well. And not being well married, it will be easier for me hereafter to leave my wife.
Goest thou with me? Let me counsel thee.
Come away, good Audrey. We must be married, or we must live in Bawdry. Farewell, good Master Oliver. Not, oh dear Oliver, oh sweet Oliver, lead me not behind me, but wind away, be gone, I say, I will not to wedding with thee.
"'Tis no matter. No a fantastical knave of them will ever flout me of my calling.
Never talk to me. I will weep.
Do, I prithee, yet have the grace to consider that tears do not become a man.
But have I not cause to weep? As good a cause as one should desire, therefore, weep. His very hair is of a dissembling color.
Something browner than Judas's?
Mary, his kisses are Judas's own children. In faith, his hair is of a good color. An excellent color. Your chestnut was ever the only color. And his kissing is as full of sanctity as the touch of holy bread.
He hath bought a pair of cast lips of Diana. A nun of Winter's sisterhood kisses not more religiously. The very ice of chastity is in them.
But why did he swear he would come this morning and comes not?
Nay, certainly there is no faith in him.
Do you think so?
Yes. I think he is not a pickpocket nor a horse thief, but for his verity in love, I think him as concave as a covered goblet or a worm-eaten nut.
Not true in love.
Yes, when he is in, but I think he is not in.
You have heard him swear downright he was.
Was is not is. Besides, the oath of a lover is no stronger than the word of a tapster. They are both confirmers of false reckonings. He attends here in the forest on the Duke, your father.
I met the Duke yesterday and had much question with him.
He asked me of what parentage I was. I told him as good as he, so he laughed and let me go. But what talk we of fathers when there's such a man as Orlando?
Oh yes, there's a brave man. He writes brave verses, speaks brave words, swears brave oaths, and breaks them bravely.
Oh.
But all's brave that youth mounts and folly guides. Oh, who comes here?
Mistress and master, you have oft inquired after the shepherd that complained of love you saw sitting by me on the turf, praising the proud, disdainful shepherdess that was his mistress.
Well, what of him?
If you will see a pageant truly played between the pale complexion of true love and the red glow of scorn and proud disdain, go hence a little, and I will conduct you if you will mark it.
Oh, come, let us remove. The sight of lovers feedeth those in love. Bring us to the sight, and you shall say I'll prove a busy actor in their play.
Do not scorn me. Do not, Phebe. Say you do not love me, but say not so in bitterness. Even the common executioner's heart, the custom started death makes hard, falls not the axe upon the humbled neck, but instead first begs pardon. Will you sterner be than he that lives and dies by bloody drops?
I would not be thy executioner. I fly thee, for I would not injure thee. That telleth me there is murder in mine eyes. 'Tis pretty sure and very probable that eyes that are the frailest and softest things, who shut their coward gates on enemies, should be called tyrants, butchers, murderers. Now, I do frown on thee with all my heart. And if mine eyes can wound, now let them kill thee. Why now counterfeit the swoon, and fall down, and if thou canst not, oh, for shame, for shame. Lie not to say mine eyes are murderers. Now, show me the wound my eye hath made in thee, scratch thee but with a pen, and there remains some scar of it. Lean upon a rush, the cicatrice and capable impression thy palm some moment keeps. But now mine eyes, which have darted at thee, hurt thee not, nor I am sure there is no force in eyes that can do hurt.
Oh, Phebe, my dear Phebe, if ever that ever may be near, you find in some fresh cheek the power of fancy, you will know the wounds invisible that love keen arrows make.
But till that time, come not thou near me, and when that time comes, afflict me with thy marks. Pity me not, as till that time I shall not pity thee.
And why, I pray you? Who might be your mother that you insult, exalt, and all at once over the wretched? What, though you have no beauty, as by my faith I see no more in you than without candle may go dark to bed, must you therefore be proud and pitiless? Why? What means this? Why do you look on me? I see no more in you than in the ordinary of nature's sail work. Odds my little life, I think she hopes to tangle mine eyes too. No, faith, proud mistress, hope not after it. 'Tis not your inky brows, your black silk hair, your bugle eyeballs, nor your cheek of cream that can entame my spirits to your worship. You foolish shepherd! Wherefore aren't you following her like foggy south puffing with the wind and rain? You are 1,000 times more proper a man than she is a woman.
'Tis fools such as you that make the world full of ill-favored children. 'Tis not her glass, but you that flatters her, and through you she sees herself more proper than any of her lineaments could show her. Oh! But, mistress, know yourself. On your knees and thank heaven, fasting for a good man's love. For I must tell you friendly in your ear, sell while you can. You are not for all markets. Cry the man mercy. Love him. Take his offer. Foul is most foul, being foul to a scoffer. So take her to thee, shepherd. Fare you well.
Sweet youth, I pray you chide a year together. I'd rather hear you chide than this man woo.
He's fallen in love with your foulness. And she'll fall in love with my anger. If it be true, as soon as she answers you with bitter looks, I'll sauce her with words. Why look you so upon me?
No ill will, I beg you.
Oh, I pray you, do not fall in love with me, for I am falser than vows made in wine. Oh, besides, I like you not. If you would know my house, 'tis at the tuft of olives here hard by. Sister, will you go? Shepherd, ply her hard. Come, sister. Oh. Shepherdess, look on him better and be not proud. Though all the world could see, none could be so abused in sight as he. Come to our flock.
Oh, dead shepherd, now I find thy soul of might. Whoever loved that loved not at first sight.
Sweet Phebe.
Oh, what sayest thou, Silvius?
Sweet Phebe. Pity me.
I am sorry for thee, gentle Silvius.
Wherever sorrow is, relief might be. And if you do sorrow at my grief and love, then by giving love, your sorrow and my grief might both be exterminated.
I am sorry, and you have my love. Is that not neighborly?
I would have you.
Oh, now that were covetousness. Oh, time was, Silvius, that I hated thee. And it's not that I bear thee love, but that thou canst talk of love so well, that thy company, which erst was irksome, I will endure, and I'll employ thee. But do not look for further recompense than thine own gladness that thou art employed.
So holy, so perfect is my love, and I in such a poverty of grace, that I should consider a most bounteous harvest to glean the broken ears after the man the main harvest reaps. Loose now and then a scattered smile, and that I will live upon.
Knowest thou the youth that spoke to me erewhile?
Not very well, though I've spoke with him oft. He has bought the bounds and cottage the old Collet was once master of.
Oh, well, think not that I love him, though I ask for him. 'Tis but a peevish boy, and yet he talks well. But what care I for words? Yet words do well when he that speaks pleases those that hear. Oh, 'tis a pretty youth. Well, not very pretty, but sure he's proud, and yet his pride becomes him. He'll make a proper man. The best thing in him was his complexion, and faster than his tongue did make offense, his eye did heal it up. Oh, well, he's not very tall, but for his years he's tall. His leg was but so, and yet 'tis well. There was a redness in his lips, a little riper and more lusty red than that mixed in his cheek. 'Twas just the difference between the constant red and mingled damask. Oh, there be some women, Silvius, had they marked him in parcels as I had, might gone near to fall in love with him. But for my part, I love him not, nor hate him not. And yet, I have more cause to hate him than to love him, for what had he to do to chide at me? He said mine eyes were black and my hair was black. And now that I am remembered, scorned at me. Oh, I marvel why I answered not again. But that's all one. Omittance is no quittance. I'll write him a a very taunt letter, and thou wilt deliver it, wilt thou, Silvius?
Phebe, with all my heart.
I'll write the matter straight. It's in my head and in my heart. I will be bitter and passing short. Go with me, Silvius.
I prithee thee, pretty youth, let me be better acquainted with thee.
They say you are a melancholy fellow.
I am so. I do love it better than laughing.
Those that are in extremity of either are abominable fellows that betray themselves to every modern censure worse than drunkards.
'Tis good to be sad and say nothing.
Why then, 'tis good to be a post.
I have neither the scholar's melancholy, which is emulation, nor the musicians, which is fantastical, nor the courtiers, which is proud, nor the soldiers, which is ambitious, nor the lawyers, which is politic, nor the ladies, which is kind, nor the lovers, which is all of these. Mine is a melancholy of mine own, compounded of many simples and extracted from many objects, and indeed the sundry contemplation of my travels, which wraps me in a most humorous sadness.
A traveler. By my faith, you have much reason to be sad. I fear you have sold your own lands to see other men's. Then to have seen much and have nothing is to have rich eyes and poor hands.
Yes, I have gained my experience.
And your experience makes you sad? I'd rather have a fool to make me merry than experience to make me sad, and to travel for it too. Oh.
Good day and happiness, dear Rosalind.
Nay, God be with you, and you talk in blank verse.
Farewell, Monsieur Traveler. Look, you lisp and wear strange suits, or I will scarce believe you have swam in a gondola. Why? How now, Orlando? Where have you been all this time? You, a lover? And you served me such another trick, never come in my sight more.
My fair Rosalind, I come within an hour of my promise.
An hour's promise in love? He that will divide a minute into 1,000 parts and break but one part of the 1,000th part of a minute in the affairs of love? It may be said of him that Cupid hath clapped him on the shoulder, but I'll warrant him hard whole.
Pardon me, dear Rosalind.
Nay, you be so tardy. I had as lief be wooed of a snail.
Of a snail?
Aye, of a snail. For though he comes slowly, he carries his house on his head. A better jointure, I think, than you make a woman. Besides, he brings his destiny with him.
What's that?
Why, horns, which such as you are fain to be beholding to your wives for. But he comes armed in his fortune and prevents the slander of his wife.
Virtue is no horn maker, and my Rosalind is virtuous.
And I am your Rosalind.
It pleases him to call you so, but he hath the Rosalind of a better leer than you.
Oh, come. Woo me, for now I am in a holiday humor and like enough to consent. What would you say to me, and I were your very, very Rosalind? Oh.
I would kiss before I spoke.
Nay, you had better speak first, and then when you are graveled for lack of matter, you might take occasion to kiss. Very good orators, when they are out, they will spit. And for lovers lacking, God warn us, matter, the cleanliest shift is to kiss.
Well, how if the kiss be denied?
Then she puts you to entreaty, and there begins new matter.
But who could be out, being before his beloved mistress?
Marry, that should you if I were your mistress, or I should think my honesty ranker than my wit.
What of my suit?
Not.
out of your apparel, yet out of your suit. Am I not your Rosalind?
I take some joy to say you are, because I will be talking of her.
Well, in her person, I say, I will not have you.
Then, in mine own person, I die.
No, Faith. Die by attorney. The poor world is almost 6,000 years old, and there was never a man died in his own person, Videla says, in a love cause. Troilus had his brains bashed out with the Grecian club, yet he did what he could do to die before, and he is one of the patterns of love. Leander, he would have lived many a fair year, though Hero had turned nun, if it had not been for that hot midsummer night. For, good youth, he went but forth to wash him in the Hellespont, and being taken with the cramp, was drowned. And the foolish chroniclers of this age found it was Hero of Cestus. But these are all lies. Men have died from time to time, and worms have eaten them, but not for love.
I would not have my right Rosalind of this mind, for I protest her frown might kill me.
By this hand, it shall not kill a fly. But, come now, I will be your Rosalind in a more coming-on disposition, and ask me what you will, I will grant it.
Then, love me, Rosalind.
Faith, will I? Fridays and Saturdays and all.
And wilt thou have me?
Aye. And 20 such.
What sayest thou?
Are you not good?
I hope so.
Oh, then can one desire too much of a good thing? Oh, come, sister, you shall be the priest and marry us. Give me your hand, Orlando. Oh, what do you say, sister?
Pray thee, marry us.
I cannot say the words.
You must begin. Will you, Orlando?
Get to. Will you, Orlando, have to wife this Rosalind?
I will.
Aye, but when?
Why now? As fast as she can marry us.
Well, then you must say, I take thee, Rosalind, for wife.
I take thee, Rosalind, for wife.
I might ask you for your commission, but I do take thee, Orlando, for my husband. There's a girl goes before the priest, and a woman's thought runs before her actions.
So do all thoughts. They are winged.
Now tell me, how long would you have her after you have possessed her?
Oh, forever and a day.
Oh, say the day without the ever. No, Orlando. Men are April when they woo, December when they wed. Maids are May when they are maids, but the sky changes when they are wives. I will be more jealous of thee than a Barbary cock pigeon over her head, more giddy in my desires than a monkey. I will weep for nothing like Diana at the fountain, and that when thou art disposed to be merry. I will laugh like a hyena, and that when thou art inclined to sleep.
Will my Rosalind do so?
By my life, she will do as I do.
Ah, but she is wise.
Or else she could not have the wit to do this. The wiser, the waywarder. Make the doors upon a woman's wit, and 'twill out the casement. Shut that, and 'twill out through the keyhole. Stop that, and 'twill fly out with the smoke at the chimney.
A man who had a wife with such wit, he might say, wit, whither wilt?
Nay, you might keep that check for it till you found your wife's wit going to your neighbor's bed.
And what wit could wit have to excuse that?
Marry to say she came to seek you there. You shall never have her without her answer, lest you take her without her tongue. Oh, that woman that cannot make her fault her husband's occasion, let her never nurse her child herself, for she will breed it like a fool.
For these 2 hours, Rosalind, I will leave thee.
Alas, my love, I cannot lack thee 2 hours.
I must attend the Duke at dinner. By 2 o'clock I will be with thee again.
Aye, go your ways, go your ways. I knew what you would prove. My friends told me so much, and I thought no less. That flattering tongue of yours won me. 'Tis but one cast away, and so come death. is your hour?
Aye. Sweet Rosalind.
By my troth, and in good earnest, and so God mend me, and by all pretty oaths that are not dangerous, if you break one jot of your promise, or come 1 minute behind your hour, I will think you the most pathetical break promise, and the most hollow lover, and the most unworthy of her you call Rosalind, that may be chosen out of the gross band of the unfaithful. Therefore, beware my censure, and keep your promise.
With no less religion than if thou wert indeed my Rosalind. Therefore, adieu.
Well, time is the old justice that examines such offenders, and let time try. Adieu.
You have simply misused our sex in your love writ. Oh, we must off with your jumping hose and show the world what the bird has done to her own nest.
Oh, cuz, my pretty little cuz, if thou didst know how many fathom deep I am in love. But it cannot be sounded. My affection hath an unknown bottom, like the Bay of Portugal. Or rather, bottom.
And as quickly as you pour affection in, it runs out.
I'll tell thee, Aliena, I cannot be out of sight of Orlando. I'll go find a shadow and sigh till he comes.
And I'll sleep.
Oh.
Well, which is he who killed the deer?
Sir, 'twas I.
Oh. Let us present him to the Duke like a Roman conqueror. And it would do well to set the deer's horns upon his head as a branch of victory. Have you no song, Forster, for this purpose?
Yes, sir.
Sing it. 'Tis no matter how it be in tune, so it make noise enough.
It is past 2 o'clock, and here, much Orlando.
I'll warrant you, with pure love and troubled brain, he has taken his bow and arrows and gone forth to sleep.
Oh.
You're supposed to be right here, cousin. You won't find him. You might be behind a tree. Hey.
My errand is to you, fair youth, my dear Phebe. Bid me give you this. I know not the contents, but judging by the stern brow and waspish action with which you did write it, it bears an angry tenor. Forgive me, I am but a humble messenger.
Patience herself would startle at this letter and play the swaggerer. Bear this, bear all. She says I am not fair, that I lack manners. She calls me too proud and says she could not love me were man rare as Phoenix. Odds my life, her love is not the hare that I do hunt. Why writes she so to me? Well, shepherd, well, this is a letter of your own device.
No, I protest. I do not know the contents. Phoebe did write it.
Oh, come. You are a fool and in the extremity of love. I saw her hand. She has a leathern hand, a freestone-colored hand. I verily did think her old gloves were on, but 'twas her hands. She has a housewife's hand. But 'tis no matter. I say she did not write this letter. This is a man's invention and his hand.
Sure it is hers.
Why, 'tis a boisterous and cruel style, a style for challengers. Why, she defies me like Turk to Christian. Woman's gentle brain could not draw forth such giant, rude invention, such Ethiop words blacker in their effect than in their countenance. Will you hear the letter?
If it please the youth, for I've not heard it yet, though I've heard too much of Phoebe's cruelty.
She Phoebes me. Mark how the tyrant writes. Art thou God to shepherd turned, that a maiden's heart hath burned? Can a woman rail thus?
Call you this railing?
Why, thy Godhead set apart, warrest thou with a woman's heart? Oh, did you ever hear such railing? Whiles the eye of man did woo me, that could do no vengeance to me, meaning me a beast. If the scorn in your bright eyne have power to raise such love in mine, alack, in me what great strange effect would they work in mild aspect? Whiles you chid me, I did love. How then might your prayers move? He that brings this love to thee little knows this love in me, and by him seal up thy mind, whether that thy youth and kind will the faithful offer take of me, and all that I can make, or else by him my love deny, and then I'll study how to die.
Call you this chiding?
Oh, alas, poor shepherd. Oh, do you pity him? No, he deserves no pity. Wilt thou love such a woman? What, to make thee an instrument and play false strains upon me? Not to be endured. Well, go your way to her, for I see love hath made thee a tame snake, and say this to her, that if she love me, I charge her to love thee. If she will not, I will never have her unless thou entreat for her. Now, if you be a true lover, hence, and not a word. For in this forest we can always expect more company.
Good morrow, fair ones. Might you know where in the purlieus of the you might find a sheepcote fenced about with olive trees?
West of this place, down in the neighbor bottom, the rank of osiers by the murmuring stream, left on your right hand brings you to the place. But at this hour the house doth keep itself, there's none within.
That I might profit by tongue, so shall I know you two by description. Such garments and such years. The boy is fair, of female favor, and bestows himself like a ripe sister. The girl is blonde and taller than her brother. Are you not the masters of the house I was sent to inquire of?
It is no boast to be asked to say that we are.
Well, Orlando doth commend him to you both. And to that youth he doth call his Rosalind, he offers this bloody handkercher. Are you he?
I am. What must we understand by this?
Some of my shame, if you would know of it. Kind of man I am. How, where, and why this handkercher was stained.
I pray you tell it.
When last Orlando left you both, it was with a promise to return within an hour. And so, pacing through the forest, chewing food of sweet and bitter fancy, lo, what befell? He threw his eye aside and marked what object did present itself. Under an old oak, boughs mossed with age and high-topped dry with bald antiquity, a wretched, ragged man, o'ergrown with hair, lay sleeping on his back. About his neck, a green and gilded snake had wreathed itself, whose nimble head, parrot with threats, began to approach the opening of his mouth. But then, seeing Orlando, it slipped away with indented glides under a bush, under whose bushes shade a lioness, head low, tail twitching, gazing with cat-like watch for the sleeping man to stir, for 'tis the royal disposition of such a beast to not prey upon anything that doth seem as dead. And on approaching, this man Orlando saw, it was his brother, his elder brother.
I have heard him speak of that brother, and he did render him the most unnatural that lived amongst men.
Well, so he might do, for well I know he was unnatural.
But to Orlando, did he leave him there? Food for the sucked and hungry lioness?
Twice did he turn his back and purposed so, but kindness, nobler ever than revenge, and stronger than nature on this just occasion, made him give battle to that lioness, who quickly fell before him. And so, hurtling from miserable slumber, I awaked.
Are you his brother? Was't you he rescued? 'Twas you that did so oft contrive to kill him?
'Twas I, but 'tis not I do not shame to tell you what I was, till my conversion so sweetly tastes, being the thing I am.
But to the bloody handkerchief!
Oh, by the by. Oh. When first to last betwixt us two in tears of recompense most kindly bathed as to how I came to that desert place, in brief he led me to the gentle Duke, who gave me fresh array and entertainment, committed me to my brother's love, who instantly led me into his cave, and there stripped, and here on his arm the lioness had torn some flesh away, which all the while had bled. And now he fainted, and cried on fainting upon his Rosalind. Brief I recovered him, bound up his wound, and after some small space he, being strong at heart, bid me come hither, stranger that I am, that I might tell the story, begged forgiveness for that broken promise, and to offer this handkerchief, dyed in his blood, to that shepherd youth doth call in sport his Rosalind.
Oh, how now, Ganymede?
Oh,
sweet Ganymede.
Many do swoon when they look on blood.
There's more in it, cousin. Ganymede!
Oh, look, he recovers.
Would I were at home. Oh, we'll lead you hither. Oh, sir, I pray you, take him by the arm.
Come now, youth, be of good cheer. You a man? You lack a man's heart.
So I do, I confess it. Ah, sirrah, a body would think this was well counterfeited. I pray you tell your brother how well I counterfeited. Hey ho!
This was not counterfeit. There's too great a testimony in your complexion that it was a passion of earnest.
Counterfeit, I assure you.
Well then, good youth, be of good heart and counterfeit to be a man.
Oh, so I do. But, I confess, I should have been a woman by right.
Come, you look paler and paler.
Oh.
Let us draw homewards. Good sir, go with us.
That will I, for I must bear answer back, as to how you will excuse my brother, Rosalind.
I shall devise something. But I pray you commend my counterfeiting to him. Will you go?
shall find a time, Audrey. Patience, gentle Audrey.
Faith, the old priest was good enough for all the old feller's saying.
A most wicked Sir Oliver, Audrey. A most vile Martext. But Audrey, there is a youth here in the forest lays claim to you.
I know who it is you mean. He hath no interest in me in the world. Oh, here comes the feller you mean.
By my troth, it does me good to see a clown. We that have good wits have much to answer for. We shall be flouting. We cannot hold.
Good evening, Audrey.
Good evening, William.
Good evening to you, sir.
Good even, fellow. Pray, be covered. Be covered. Oh, pray, be covered. Oh. How old are you, friend?
5 and 20, sir.
A good age. Is thy name William?
William, sir.
A fine name. Art rich?
Think so.
So is good, very excellent good. And yet it is not good, it is but so. Art wise?
I have a pretty wit, sir.
Why, thou sayest well. I do remember saying, the fool doth think he is wise, but the wise man knows himself to be a fool. No. Oh, the heathen philosopher, when he had a desire to eat a grape, would open his lips when he placed it into his mouth, meaning thereby that grapes were meant to eat and lips to open. You do love this maid?
I do, sir.
Give me your hand. Art wise?
No, sir.
Then learn this of me. To have is to have, for it is a figure in rhetoric that drink being poured from a cup into a glass, by emptying the one doth filling the other. For all your writers do agree that Ips is he. Now, you are not Ips, for I am he.
Who's he, sir?
He, sir, that must marry this woman. Therefore, you clown, abandon, which in the vulgar is leave, the society, which the boorish is company, of this female, which the common is woman, which altogether is, abandon the society of this female, or clown, thou perishest, or to thy better understanding, thou diest, or to wit, I kill thee. I will deal in poison with thee, or in steel. I will kill thee 150 ways. Therefore tremble, then depart.
Good, William.
God keep thee merry, sir.
Master and mistress seek you. Come away.
Oh, true poultry. I attend.
Is it possible that on so little acquaintance you should like her? That but seeing you should love her, and loving woo, and wooing she should grant, and will you persevere to enjoy her?
Question not the giddiness of it, the small acquaintance, the poverty of her, my sudden wooing, nor her sudden consenting. Instead, say with me, I love Aliena. Say with her that she loves me. Consent with both, that we may enjoy each other. For it is to your good. For all that was our father's house, the estate of Sir Rowlands, do I bestow upon you, and here live and die a shepherd.
Oh, you have my consent. Let your wedding be tomorrow. Thither will I invite the Duke and all his contented followers. Go you and prepare Aliena, for look you, here comes my Rosalind.
God save you, brother.
And you, fair sister.
Oh, my dear Orlando, how it grieves me to see thy heart in a scarf.
It is my arm.
Methought your heart had been wounded with the claws of a lion.
Oh, wounded it is, but with the eyes of a lady.
Did your brother tell you how I counterfeited to swoon when he showed me your handkerchief?
Aye, and greater wonders than that.
Oh, I know where you are. Nay, 'tis true. There was never anything so sudden but the fight of two rams and Caesar's thrasonical brag of I came, saw, and overcame. For your brother and my sister no sooner met, but they looked No sooner looked, but they loved. No sooner loved, but they sighed. No sooner sighed, but they asked one another the reason. No sooner knew the reason, but they sought the remedy. And by these degrees will they build a pair of stairs to marriage, which they will climb incontinent, or else be incontinent before marriage. They are in the very wrath of love, and they will together. Clubs cannot part them.
Their wedding will be tomorrow, and I will bid the Duke to the nuptial. How bitter a thing it is to look into happiness through another man's eyes. By how much the more shall I tomorrow be at the height of heart heaviness? By how much I shall think my brother happy, having what he wishes for.
Why then, tomorrow I cannot serve your turn for Rosalind.
I can no longer live by thinking.
I will wear you then no longer with idle talking. Know of me then, for now I speak to some purpose, that I know you are a gentleman of good conceit. I speak not this that you should bear a good opinion of my knowledge, insomuch I say, I know you are. Neither do I labor for a greater esteem than may in some little measure draw a belief from you to do yourself good and not to grace me. Believe then, if you please, that I can do strange things. I have, since I was 3-year-old, conversed with a magician, most profound in his art, yet not damnable. If you love Rosalind so near the heart as your gesture cries it out, when your brother marries Aliena, shall you marry her? I know into what straits of fortune she is driven, and it is not impossible to me, if it appear not inconvenient to you, to set her here before your eyes tomorrow, human as she is, and without any danger.
Speakest thou in sober meanings?
By my life I do, which I tender dearly, though I say I am a magician. Therefore, put you in your best array, and bid your friends, for if you will be married tomorrow, you shall, and to Rosalind, if you will. Oh, look, here comes a lover of mine and a lover of hers.
Youth, you have done me much ungentleness to show the letter I writ to you.
I care not if I have. It is my study to seem despiteful and ungentle to you. And you are there followed by a most faithful shepherd. Look on him, love him. He worships you.
Good shepherd, tell this youth what 'tis to love.
As we all made of sighs and tears, and so am I for Phebe.
And I for Ganymede.
And I for Rosalind.
And I for no woman.
It is we all made of faith and service, and so am I for Phebe.
And I for Ganymede.
And I for Rosalind.
And I for no woman.
It is we all made of fantasy, all made of passion, and all made of wishes, all adoration, duty, and observance, all humbleness, all patience and impatience, all purity, all trial, all observance. And so am I for Phebe.
And so am I for Ganymede.
And so am I for Rosalind.
And so am I for no woman.
If this be so, why blame you me to love you?
If this be so, why blame you me to love you?
If this be so, why blame you me to love you?
Why do you speak too? Why blame you me to love you?
Oh, for her that is not here, nor doth not hear.
Oh, I pray you, no more of this. 'Tis like the howling of Irish wolves against the moon. I will help you if I can. I would love you if I could. Oh, tomorrow, meet me all together. I will marry you if ever I marry a woman, and I shall be married tomorrow. I will satisfy you if ever I satisfy man, and you shall be married tomorrow. I will content you if what pleases you contents you, and you shall be married tomorrow. As you love Rosalind, meet. As you love Phebe, meet. And as I love no woman, I'll meet. So fare you well. I have given you commands.
I'll not fail if I live.
Nor I.
Nor I.
Tomorrow is the joyful day, Audrey. Tomorrow will we be married.
I do so desire it with all my heart. And I do hope it is no dishonest desire to be a woman of the world. Oh, look! Here are two of the banished Duke's pages.
Well met, honest gentlemen.
Ah, my troth, well met. Come, sit in a song.
We are here for you. Sit in the middle.
Shall we clap into it roundly without hawking, or spinning our breath, or sing we are hoarse, which is only prologues to a bad voice?
I faith, and both tune like two gypsies on a horse.
It was a lover and his lass, with a hay and a hoe and a hay nonny no, that o'er the green cornfields did pass. In springtime, the only springtime when birds do sing, hey ding-a-ding-ding, sweet lovers love the spring. Those pretty country folks did lie in springtime, the only pretty springtime when birds do sing, hey ding-a-ding-ding, sweet lovers love the spring. This carol they began that hour, with the hay and the hoe and the hey nonny no, how that life was but a flower in springtime, the only pretty ringtime when birds do sing, hey ding-a-ding-ding, sweet lovers love the spring. So therefore take the present time, the hay and the hoe and the hey nonny no, that love is crowned with the pride in springtime, the only pretty ringtime when birds do sing, hey ding-a-ding-ding, sweet lovers love the spring.
Truly, young gentlemen, though there was no great matter in the ditty, yet the note was very untunable.
You are mistaken. We kept our time. We lost not our time.
By my troth, yes. I count it, but time lost to hear such a foolish song. God be with you, and God mend your voices. Oh, come, Audrey. Dost thou believe, Orlando, the boy can do all this that he hath promised?
I sometimes do believe and sometimes do not, as those that fear they hope and know they fear.
Patience once more while our compact is urged. You say, if I bring in your Rosalind, you will bestow her on Orlando here.
That would I, had I kingdoms to give with her.
And you say you will have her when I bring her.
That would I, were I of all kingdoms king.
You say you'll marry me, that if I be willing,
That will I, should I die the hour after.
or else, if you do refuse to wed me, you'll wed this most faithful shepherd.
Oh, such is the bargain.
You say you'll have Phebe if she will.
Oh, to have her at death were both one thing.
I have promised to make all this matter even. Keep you your word, O Duke, to give your daughter. You yours, Orlando, to receive his daughter. Keep you your word, Phebe, that you'll marry me, or else, refusing me, wed the shepherd. Keep your word, Silvius, that you'll wed her if she refuse me,
And from hence I go, to make all these doubts even.
I do remember in this shepherd boy some lively touches of my daughter's favor.
My lord, the first time I ever saw him, methought he was a brother to your daughter. But, good my lord, this boy is forest-born, and hath been tutored in the rudiments of many desperate studies by his uncle, whom he reports to be a great magician, obscured in this circle of the forest.
There is sure another flood toward, and these couples are coming to the ark. Here is a pair of very strange beasts, which in all tongues are called fools.
A salutation and greeting to you all.
Good my lord, bid him welcome. This is the motley-minded gentleman that I've so often met in the forest. He has been a courtier, he swears.
If any man doubt that, let him put me to my purgation. I have trod measure. I have flattered a lady. I have been politic with my friends, smooth with mine enemy. I have undone 4 tailors. I have had 3 quarrels and like to have fought 1.
And how was that taken up?
Oh, faith, we met and found the quarrel was upon the 7th cause.
How 7th caused? Good my lord, like you this fellow?
I like him very well. God ill you, sir, I do desire you of the like. I press in here, sir, among the rest of the country copulatives, to swear and to forswear, according as marriage binds and blood breaks. A poor virgin, sir, an ill-favored thing, but mine own. A rich humor of mine, sir, to take that no other man will. Rich humor dwells like a miser, sir, in a poor house, as your pearl in your foul oyster. By my faith, he's very swift and sententious. According to the fool's bolts, sir, and such dulcet diseases.
But for the 7th cause, how was the quarrel taken up on the 7th cause?
Upon a lie 7 times removed. Bear your body more seeming, Audrey. As thus, sir, I did dislike the cut of a certain courtier's beard. He sent me word if I said his beard was not cut well, he was in the mind that it was. This is called the retort courteous. If again I said his beard was not cut well, he would say that he cut it to please himself. This is called the quip modest. If again it was not well cut, he would say that he misdoubted my judgment. This is called the reply churlish. If again it was not well cut, he would say that I spake not true. This is called the reproof valiant. If again it was not well cut, he would say that I lie. This is called the countercheck quarrelsome. And so on to the lie circumstantial and the lie direct.
And how oft did you say his beard was not well cut?
Oh, I durst go no further than the lie circumstantial, and he durst not give me the lie direct. And so we measured swords and parted.
And now can you nominate in order the degrees of the lie?
Oh, sir, we quarrel in print, by the book, as you have books for good manners. I remember when 7 justices could not take up a quarrel, but when the parties were met themselves, one of them thought but of an if, as, if you said so, then I said so. And they shook hands and swore brothers. Your if is your only peacemaker. Much virtue in if.
Oh, good my lord, like you this fellow. He's as good as anything and yet a fool.
He uses his folly like a stalking horse, and under the presentation of that, he shoots his wit.
Heitman from heaven brought her, yea, brought her hither that thou mightest break her hand in his, whose heart within his bosom is.
To you I give myself, for I am yours. To you I give myself, for I am yours.
If there be truth in sight, you are my daughter.
If there be truth in sight, you are my Rosalind.
If sight and shape be true, why then my love adieu.
I'll have no father if you be not he. I'll have no husband if you be not he. Nor ne'er wed woman if you be not she.
Peace ho! I bar confusion. 'Tis I must make conclusion of these strange events. Here are 8 who must take hands to join together in Heitman's bands. If truth holds true contents, you and you, no cross shall part. You and you are heart to heart. You tis love must accord or have a woman to your warning. And you are sure together as winter to foul weather. As a wedlock hymn we sing, feed yourselves with questioning. As reason wonder may diminish, how thus we met, and these things finish.
Degree.
I'll not eat my words, now thou art mine. Thy faith my fancy to thee doth combine.
Let me have audience for a word or two. Duke Frederick, hearing how that demand of great worth every day restored to this force, addressed a mighty power, which were on foot in his own conduct purposely to take his brother here and put him to the sword. Until the wild wood he gave, where, meeting with an old religious man after some questions with him, was converted, both from his enterprise and from the world, his crown bequeathing to his banished brother, and all their lands restored to them again, who are with him banished. This to be true, I do engage my life.
Thou offerest fairly to my daughter's wedding, young one. To one, his lands withheld, the other, a land itself at large, a potent dukedom. First, in this force let us do those ends that here were well begun and well begot. And after, all those that have endured shrewd days and nights with us shall share the good of our eternal fortune, according to the measure of their states. But first, forget this new-fallen dignity and fall into our rustic revelry. Play, music. And you, brides and bridegrooms all, with measure heaped in joy to the measure's fall.
I prithee, sir, if I hear you rightly, the Duke hath put on a religious life and thrown in and neglect the pompous court?
He hath.
To him will I. That of these convertites, there's much to be heard and learned. To you, your former honor, I bequeath. Your virtue of patience, well deserved it. To you, a true love that your faith doth merit. And to you, your land and love and great allies. And to you,
to a long and well-deserved bed. And to you for wrangling thy loving voyage, which is but 2 months' victual. Yes. So to you, your pleasures, I am for other than dancing measures.
Stay, Jakes, stay.
To see no pastime, what you will have, I will stay to know at your abandoned cave.
Proceed, proceed. We'll begin these rites as we do trust the land in true delights.
It is not the fashion to see the lady the epilogue, but it is no more unhandsome than to see the lord the prologue. If it be true that for good wine they need no bush, then 'tis true that good plays need no epilogues. Yet, to good wine they do use good bushes, and good plays prove the better with the help of good epilogues. What case am I in that am neither a good epilogue nor cannot insinuate with you on behalf of a good play? I am not furnished like a beggar, therefore to beg would not become me. My way is to conjure you, and I'll begin with the women. I charge you, O women, for the love you bear to men, to like as much of this play as please you. And I charge you, O men, for the love you bear to women, as I perceive by your simpering, none of you hates them, that between you and the women the play may please. If I were a woman, I would kiss as many of you as had beards that pleased me, complexions that liked me, and breaths that I defied not. And I am sure that as many of you as have good beards, good faces, and sweet breaths will, for my kind offer, when I make curtsy, bid me farewell.